All right, so it is Andre Pallante on the mound for the Cardinals today. He's not doing too well this year with a 4.83 ERA and a 1.38 whip. Pretty low strikeout rate as well, but the ground ball rate is amongst the best in baseball at 64.7%. So if he can just avoid the walks and keep putting the ball in the zone, I think the defense can help him out and lead him to a win today. So if we look at his history against the Reds lineup, he struggled with Gavin Lux, Tyler Stevenson, and Jose Trevino the most, but he's had a lot of success against the rest of it, so he has a decent shot at having a good start today. So let's go ahead and take a look at the lineups and get ready for the beginning of this one. Looks like it's about to get underway. TJ Friedl getting the start in center field. He'll be the leadoff hitter for the Reds. It's going to be Gavin Lux at third, De La Cruz at short, Stevenson at DH, Steer at first, Benson in left, Trevino behind the plate, Raley in right, and McLean at second base. And for the Cardinals defense, we're looking at Gorman playing third today, with Wynn at short, Donovan at second, Burleson at first. And then it is Sajaci who is up from the minors playing DH, with Walker in right, Scott in center, and Nootbaar in left. First pitch in just a few moments here. Friedl getting ready to step to the plate. And here we go. Pajes behind the plate today. So that means Arenado is getting the day off, and who else? Herrera is as well. All right, here's the first pitch from Pallante to Friedl to start off the series. Right down the middle for a strike with the four-seam. That was 94 miles an hour, and it's 0-1. TJ Friedl is hitting .294 this year with an 829 OPS. Here is the 0-1. Driven the other way, but caught at third base by Gorman for out number one. That was lightly tapped. I thought he might have hit it harder off the bat, but very light toss over to third, so easy play for Gorman. One out in the first, and that's going to bring up Gavin Lux, who has had some success against Pallante. An OPS over 1,000 in this matchup. Here's the first pitch to Lux. Right down the middle once again. It's 0-1. Gavin Lux hitting .275 this year, 755 OPS. Getting the start at third base today. Here is the 0-1. Great. Froze. Sorry about that. Here we go. The 0-1 pitch to Gavin Lux. It is up and away for a ball. 1-1. Lux, obviously a former Dodger. Moved over to the Reds recently. I believe that was the start of last season. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Right down the middle, driven the other way, but foul. 1-2. Might have been the start of this season. Lux does have 3 home runs in 67 games this year. 31 runs batted in. And from a defensive perspective, the Cardinals aren't bringing their best defense, but he just chased a slider in the dirt. Down goes Lux. So another great pitch from Pallante. 2 down in the first. And that's going to bring up Elly De La Cruz. De La Cruz with a .263 average this year and an 826 OPS. Obviously, he's a speed demon, so if he gets on base, that would be pretty scary. He'd easily be able to steal second and put himself in scoring position. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Here's the first pitch to De La Cruz. Swing and a miss on a curveball below the zone. It's 0-1. Pallante seems to be at his best when he gets ahead of the hitter early on and can attack the zone with some good defense behind him. Defense today looks pretty good. Obviously, having Arenado would make you feel a little bit better, but it's almost the best defense the Cardinals have, as here's a chopper over to short. Mason Wynn showing off the arm for the third out. So we go to the bottom of the first. It'll be Brady Singer on the mound against the Redbirds. So we can go ahead and check out Singer's stats on the year, and then also his history in the matchup against these guys. So he's also not having the best year, a 4.34 ERA, 1.34 whip. Strikeout rate not quite as low as Pallante's, but there's no beneficial stats for Singer. Everything isn't going too well for him. The stuff that's going better is the strikeout rate, walk rate, hard hit rate, but he's not getting great contact numbers. So once people do make contact, the launch angle and exit velocity are not in Singer's favor. So the Cardinals just got to swing when it's in the zone, but they can also work walks. He still has a 10% walk rate. So really just take good at-bats against Singer. Don't give him any free outs. And if we look at his history against this lineup, only Mason Wynn and Victor Scott have had much success against him, so hopefully the Cardinals can break through this time. I believe they've faced Singer earlier this year. And I'm going to get started with the random word generator. We got seat. That's probably not super useful. Cane. That could be like sugar. I don't know. We'll get the Donovan numbers instead. Leave those up. Great launch angle. Squares up the ball, doesn't strike out. Doesn't hit the ball super hard and doesn't walk a ton, but it's Brendan Donovan. He's going to give you the hustle. All right, first pitch of the bottom of the first is in there, low and in with the sinker. It's 0-1. Donovan having a pretty good start to the year. Average at 317. The 0-1 pitch is fouled away. 0-2. We're still in the first half of the season, but standings are starting to shake out. And the Cardinals are trying to stay in it here. They are just half a game out of a playoff spot today. It is 1-2 on Donovan. Here's the 1-2. Missed downstairs with the slider, 2-2. Donovan does have 4 home runs on the year in 67 games. The 2-2 pitch is in the dirt, 3-2. On deck is Mason Wynn. See if Donovan can complete this at bat. The 3-2 pitch from Singer. Inside, pulled over to first. Easy play is made by Steer for out number 1. We look at the defense for the Reds. It is Friedel in center, Benson in left, Fraley in right. With Lux at third, De La Cruz at short, McLean at second, Steer at first, and Trevino behind the plate. 1 out. That's going to bring up Mason Wynn. He's hitting .252 on the year with just below a 700 OPS. His sits at .699. First pitch is just low with the sinker, 1-0. So the Cardinals looking to provide the first base runner of the day today after a 1-2-3 first by Pallante. And Singer gets the call on a fastball outside. It's 1-1. The 1-1 pitch is up and in, chopped over to second base. McLean's going to have it go through his legs, but he's still going to make the play for the out. So McLean bails himself out with some quick feet and maybe some lack of hustle by Wynn, but he was still running. Let's see. He watched that one a little bit. Yeah, he should have been hustling. I'm going to blame Wynn for that. He really needs to be safe right there. Obviously, you can't run all those out at 100%, but you got to at least put 95 in it and make sure you're safe. So 2 outs, nobody on. First pitch misses low and in to Burleson. It's 1-0. I think the culture needs to go ahead and have a discussion with Mason Wynn after that, just to make sure he's hustling. As long as he, owns up to it and doesn't make that mistake again, I'm sure there'll be no problem. As Singer misses low and in again, it's 2-0. After a couple of dodgers, it is Donovan and Burleson at the top of the batting average leaderboard at 3 and 4 in the NL this year. As Burleson takes a strike down the middle, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch to Burleson is right down the middle, fouled off his foot, 2-2. Burleson's OPS recently eclipsed 800. He's now up at 814. So that is well above league average. It's great to see. It's also great to see Sajasi back at the big league level. Here's the 2-2. Low and in with the sinker. 3-2 on Burleson. Burleson is ready. The 3-2 pitch is driven into right field. It's going to get into the gap. Extra bases for Burleson. It runs up against the wall, and he is hustling in with a stand-up double. So the Cardinals have a runner in scoring position in the first with 2 outs. Looked like a breaking ball. He just ducked down and wrapped the barrel around that one, found the gap, and hustled into second. Nice piece of hitting by Burleson, and that will bring up Nolan Gorman. Gorman hitting .220 so far this year with a .698 OPS. First pitch from Singer. Swing and a miss. Fastball up and away. It's 0-1. Gorman does have 4 home runs in 47 games. He's been heating up a little bit recently. Here's the 0-1. Up and in, that's a ball, 1-1. That's why you see him in the lineup today. Filling in for Arenado at third, just trying to get his bat in the order. The 1-1 pitch from Singer. Ooh, right down the middle, fouled into the catcher's mask. It is 1-2. So the ump's going to go get that ball, give Trevino a second to breathe. He gives the thumbs... Sorry. Trevino gives the thumbs up, so we are back. The count is 1-2 on Nolan Gorman, with Alec Burleson on second. Cardinals trying to take a lead in the first. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Nolan Gorman. Upstairs with the fastball, 2-2. Here's the 2-2. Chopped foul, and we'll do it again. Good job by Gorman. Making sure Singer gives him something to hit. Doesn't leave anything close on the table. There is an open base, so Singer could probably be careful with his pitches here. Here's the 2-2 to Gorman. Swing and a miss on a fastball up and away. And we go to the second inning, still scoreless in St. Louis. All right, so it'll be Tyler Stevenson up first for the Reds. And I will be grabbing a random word. Let's see if we can get something related to it. Stick. I mean, that's just like the bat. I guess we could talk about some bats. See if there's anything. There was a lot of discussion about them early in the year, so I'll bring that up. Do you also want to talk about that Yamamoto inning yesterday? So I'll get to that when the game comes back. Alrighty. That's not ideal. Alright, game coming back. Oh, let's see. Yep. Alright, it's 0-1 on Stevenson. Second pitch missed inside with the sinker. It's 1-1. So one discussion I wanted to have is on Yamamoto's inning yesterday. He was pitching for the Dodgers, went 8 straight strikes. It was 0-2. Sorry, here's the 1-1 pitch to Stevenson. Swing and a miss on a slider low and in. It's 1-2. But Yamamoto threw the 9th pitch of his potential immaculate inning, and it ended up middle up in the zone, and Will Smith caught the ball while his glove was moving up, and he missed the call. The umpire didn't give Yamamoto the immaculate inning, and I thought that was a travesty. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Stevenson. Missed just low with the curveball, 2-2. Good pitch from Pallante, just no chase there. But I thought Will Smith could have framed that ball up better and presented it to the ump, so that was unfortunate for the Dodgers the other day. Here's the 2-2. Great fastball low and away, doesn't get the call from the ump. It's 3-2 now on Stevenson. Great pitch from Pallante. He put it perfectly on that lower outside corner. It's unfortunate. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Stevenson. Top of the zone, driven into center. Playable for Victor Scott. And he will make the grab for out number 1. So nobody out. Sorry, nobody on. 1 out in the second. That'll bring up Spencer Steer. Pallante's been pretty good against the Reds so far in his career. In 5 starts, he is at just a 2.18 ERA. Trying to bring that even lower. First pitch to Steer is way upstairs for ball 1. Spencer Steer is hitting .230 this year with a .641 OPS. Using a standard bat. Here is the 1-0 pitch from Pallante. Outside fastball, fouled off, 1-1. There was a huge deal made about those Yankee bats. I'm trying to remember what they even called them. Torpedo bats. I don't know why that was such a big deal, because now everybody's back to just using whatever they were using. Here's the 1-1. Check swing, got the call, 1-2. Like, hitting a lot of home runs in New York is not a shocking thing. So I think torpedo bats do help the Yankees specifically because of that short porch and right. More of the bat being a barrel means you can just loft it out there to right field. But most teams, it's not going to affect too much. I think the Reds stadium would be another one to maybe use them in. As Steer crushes one to third base, but Gorman makes a great play to go ahead and reach down and grab that. There's 2 outs. It was an inside pitch there. He got the barrel around on it and smoked it, but right at Gorman. So with 2 outs and nobody on, that's going to bring up Will Benson. Benson getting the start in left field today. He's hitting .230 on the year with a .758 OPS. First pitch from Pallante. He is low and in with the fastball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Missed downstairs again with the slider, 2-0. Let's see if Pallante can find the zone again. This one right down the middle, fouled off of Benson's foot, and he goes straight to the ground. So we're going to need a second here. Trying to walk it off. Benson appears to be okay. Trying to warm himself back up and step back in the box. Cardinals playing Benson to pull. Count is 2-1. With 2 outs here in the second, nobody on. Here's the pitch from Pallante. Low and in, gets the swing and miss. It's 2-2. That one was just the fastball. Benson swung over it. Had a little bit of a late drop on it. And now here's the 2-2 pitch to Will Benson. Fastball away is fouled off. Still 2-2. The 2-2 pitch with 2 outs in the second. He is low and in with the fastball. That one just got away from Pallante. 3-2. So Benson having a really uncomfortable at-bat. We'll see if Pallante can find the zone again here. Reds looking for their first base runner of the game. Full count on Benson. Here's the pitch from Pallante. Right down the middle, driven over to the right side. Burleson picks it up and steps on the bag. And we go to the bottom of the second. It is still scoreless in St. Louis. It'll be Sajasi, Nootbaar, and Walker. So Sajasi, I'm glad he's back. Obviously, he's going to have some nice numbers on the Savant page, but I do want to see what he's been doing in the minor leagues recently. So you can see he was a positive batting run value, 876 OPS with a 341 average, also had a homer. But he was striking out a lot and almost never walking, and he had some bad games. That's why he ended up getting sent down. So while he did have a good few games at the big league level, I'm not certain that he's going to be perfect. But we'll replace Kershaw with Sajasi here and get a look. So the minor leagues, here we go. 2025. So he's doing about the exact same. 847 OPS, 400 on base, 445 slug. So I guess the on base is higher, the slug is lower. Still hitting well at the AAA level. Was hitting pretty well last year at the AAA level, so I see no reason why he would not be hitting for us today. there's a spot open in the lineup, he should be taking it from the minor leagues when he can. He's a guy who can get on base, and that's what you need. So good to have him in front of Nootbaar and Walker for this inning. Let's see if he can turn it on against Singer. And we'll do a random word as well. See if that can spark another topic. Innovation. That's pretty tough. Management. Well, that could be a discussion. Interesting. All right. So JC hitting 341 this year with an 876 OPS. You could totally see him in the Cardinal uniform for a long time. A lot of discussions about where he'll end up. First pitch, right down the middle with the slider. It's 0-1. Obviously, you also have Gorman, you have Wynn, you have Donovan. So a lot of pieces in the middle infield. The 0-1 pitch is outside 1-1. One of these guys could end up at third base if Arenado ends up traded, but we're hoping that doesn't happen. The 1-1 pitch to Sajasi is a swing and a miss on a slider at the bottom of the zone, 1-2. Sajasi had a nice run at the big league level. He's been hitting about as well in the big leagues as he did in the minors. The 1-2 reaches out and pokes it back to the mound. Singer tries to play it off of himself, and he does not. So Sajasi has an infield hit, and the Cardinals have a base runner in the second. Very weird pitch to go try to get. It was a slider outside of the zone. He just stuck the end of the bat off of it and ended up hitting Singer in the foot as he tried to move out of the way, which perfectly positioned it like a bunt, and nobody was going to be able to field that ball. So Sajasi is on first with a very weird hit, and that will bring up Lars Nootbaar. The first pitch is low and in with the sinker, 1-0. So today, Sajasi getting the start at DH, giving Herrera a day off. Here's the 1-0 pitch now to Nootbaar. Right down the middle with the sinker. First strike one. It's 1-1. So nobody out. Sajasi on first. We'll see if Nootbaar can take advantage of this hole on the right side of the infield. He could pull it down the line. The 1-1. Is going to be low with the sweeper, 2-1. They are holding Sajasi on first, which means if Nootbaar pulls one down the line, there will be open space there. He could also go the other way. The 2-1 pitch, instead they check on Sajasi. So that's the first disengagement. Nootbaar's only missed 4 games this year. He's played in 72. Actually, 3 games, because this is game 76. The 2-1 is fouled back, 2-2. Nootbaar had a huge homer last night in extra innings to give the Cardinals an insurance run and make sure that the White Sox couldn't even the score with a sac fly. So a big homer for Noot. See if he can keep the momentum rolling. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Up and in, he fouls it off his leg. That one is painful. Still 2-2. Nootbaar is going to use his timeout, give himself a little bit of extra time. And now he's back in. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Singer. Swing and a miss on a slider low and in. Down goes Nootbaar, and that's out number 1 in the second. It's going to bring up Jordan Walker. So which Walker are we getting today? The one that can get under a pitch and line it into a gap, or the Walker who swings over a lot of pitches? You could see either one a lot. The first pitch is inside for a strike, 0-1. That was the sinker. Walker has struggled a lot this year, hitting just .219 with a .585 OPS, but he was heating up before the injury. The 0-1 is low, 1-1. Had a couple of hits in the series against the White Sox. Let's see if he can keep some momentum rolling from before the injury. The 1-1 pitch from Singer. Up and in. Ground ball to short. De La Cruz goes to first and gets him by a step. So down goes Walker. It moves Sajaci over to second base. Man in scoring position with 2 outs once again, and that'll bring up Pedro Pajes. First pitch to Pajes is low and away. Doesn't get the call on the sinker. It's 1-0. Pajes hitting .221 this year with a .622 OPS, but he's been getting hits in clutch situations like this. So let's see if he can find a hole here. The 1-0 pitch from Singer. In there for a strike with the sinker, 1-1. On deck is Victor Scott, who's had some success against Singer. So we'll see if Pajes can pass the torch as time is called. Pajes giving himself a quick breather. Big hole on the right side of the infield. The 1-1 pitch from Singer. Swing and a miss on a sweeper at the bottom of the zone, 1-2. Pajes does have 5 home runs in 56 games this year. Singer is ready. Here's the 1-2. Low and away with the sweeper, 2-2. Cardinals have 2 catchers on the roster in Pozo and Herrera who are not being used today. The 2-2. Swing and a miss on a sinker right down the middle. Down goes Pajes, and that'll do it for the second inning. It is still scoreless. Cardinals Reds. All right, so let's see. I actually do want to check who did Sajaci come up for, because it might have been Pozo. Oh, Herrera has hit the IL. I had no idea. So that is what got Sajaci up. Herrera, Pozo, Pajes. Okay. So Ivan Herrera has hit the IL. That's unfortunate. Just had to make a quick adjustment, as I did not know that. And who's due up? It's going to be Jose Trevino, so we'll grab his numbers this year. He's been pretty good. 504 slug. Doesn't strike out a lot, but doesn't hit the ball super hard, so just finding good gaps. Does have 4 homers. Outside. Okay. All right. Whoops. We're going to try to figure out what happened with Trevino. Trevino hit a fly ball to left field for out number 1. Nootbaar made the play. Brings up Jake Fraley, who fouled off strike 1. All right, here we go. Quick call here. I'm going to try to blaze through the inning. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Fraley. Swing and a miss on the fastball inside, 0-2. And now here is the 0-2 pitch to Fraley. In the dirt with the curveball, 1-2. And now here's the 1-2 to Fraley. In the dirt, 2-2. So that puts us live. 1 out, nobody on. 2-2 count on Jake Fraley. Pallante yet to allow a base runner in this one. See what he has in store for us against Fraley here. The 2-2 pitch. Ground ball the other way. Mason Wynn fields it, tries to make a quick throw, and does. 2 outs in the third. And that will bring up Matt McLain. McLain with just a 197 average this year, but a 617 OPS. So he's a guy who hits home runs. He can also steal. So him and De La Cruz are a scary duo, especially when he is right. But McLain hasn't had a very good year so far. Here is the first pitch from Pallante. Right down the middle, driven out to right field for a base hit. That's the first hit of the game for the Reds. And Pallante just barely fails to make it through the order perfectly. So that will bring up TJ Friedl for his second at-bat of the game. With 1 man on and 2 outs in the third. Friedl a very high average at 293. First pitch to him. Here we go. Pallante delivers. And doesn't get the call on a sinker up and away. It's 1-0. Thirty-fourth pitch of the game for Pallante. The 1-0 pitch is in there with the fastball, 1-1. Friedl is 0 for 1 so far today. The only Red with a hit is standing on first base. It's Matt McLain. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Pallante. Upstairs with the slider, 2-1. Pallante is doing some tempo change against these hitters. He is standing with the ball and holding on a little while before finally delivering the pitch, as here is the 2-1 to Friedl. In there with the slider for a strike, 2-2. Pallante has just 1 strikeout through 2 2/3 inning. Let's see if he can get another. He is set. The 2-2 pitch to TJ Friedl. In there, ground ball to second. Brendan Donovan is there. makes the play and will go to the bottom of the third. It is still scoreless in St. Louis. So Victor Scott is going to be due up first. It's always good to watch him play ball. Great outs above average at 9. 30.1 feet per second sprint speed. They now have him as the second fastest man in baseball, which is unfortunate, but it's okay. Is it back? No, it isn't. All right, let's see if this sparks anything. Mobile. All right, we are back. Victor Scott has had a good amount of success against Singer in his career. He is 1 for 2. The first pitch is in there for a strike with a slider, 0-1. Scott does have 3 home runs on the year, and he is hit by that one. It's a slider low and in, and Victor Scott reaches. We got to make sure his feet are okay, as he is on them a lot when he's stealing bases. Has 20 out of 21 stolen base attempts this year. One just skipped off the side of his shoe. It'll hurt, but it is not going to cause any permanent damage. Scott's still looking hobbled as he jogs off to first. So they might not try to steal with him this time, although it's usually a good idea. Brendan Donovan at the plate. First pitch is right down the middle. Scott is going to try to go, and Trevino throws it over the bag. And Scott has himself a stolen base, so it's 0-1 on Donovan. Victor Scott on second with his 21st stolen base of the year. And nobody out in the bottom of the third. The 0-1 pitch is a ground ball up the middle. De La Cruz is going to go to third, and they're going to get Victor Scott. Great play by De La Cruz. Bold decision to try to throw it to third, and they do get Victor Scott. That was an incredible play. So 1 man on with 1 out. It'll just be a fielder's choice for Donovan. We'll have to see if the arm gets under the tag. It does not. He is out for sure. So Donovan on first with 1 out for Mason Wynn. Here is the first pitch to Wynn. Pulled fair down the third base line. It's going to get into the corner. Donovan rounds second. He is coming around to third, and he will be held up there. Runners at second and third with 1 out after a double by Mason Wynn. This was a hanging slider low and in. Wynn was able to wrap that barrel around it and keep it fair down that third base line, just over the glove of Gavin Lux. So runners at second and third with 1 out. And that brings up Alec Burleson, who's already 1 for 1 today. With a double, let's see if he can find a gap again. The first pitch from Singer. Swing and a miss on a sinker at the bottom of the zone. It's 0-1. Another hit for Burleson would be huge. Since May 10th, he's hitting .379 with almost a 1,000 OPS. Drives this one deep into center field. This should drive in a run. It's caught in center field, but the run does come in to score. And Wynn also advances to third. So an easy play there in center for Friedel, but no throw, and it's a sac fly for Burleson. So the Cardinals lead 1-0 with 2 outs, and that brings up Nolan Gorman. Mason Wynn waiting on third. Gorman digging in. First pitch to Gorman with 2 outs in the third. Up and away, 1-0. Gorman is 0 for 1 with a strikeout so far in this one. But this is where you really want to see him get a hit. You got a man on third with 2 outs. Don't want to strand him. Slider low and away. It is 2-0. So Gorman ahead in the count. The 2-0 pitch. Outside again with the slider. It's 3-0. So maybe they're pitching around him with a base open. On deck is Thomas Sajaci, who is 1 for 1. The 3-0 pitch from Singer to Gorman is up and away for ball 4. So he doesn't get the call at the corner. And that puts runners at the corners with 2 outs. Thomas Sajaci digging in. He's 1 for 1. Brought his average up to 357. OPS at 902 on a very limited sample at the big league level. Runners at the corners. First pitch is just in there, low and away with the sinker. It's 0-1. So a chance for a 2-out hit for Sajaci here. The 0-1 pitch from Singer is outside with the fastball, 1-1. If he can find a gap, Gorman might be able to turn on the Jets and come around to score. Let's see. The 1-1 pitch from Singer. Cued up the other way. It is foul. 1-2. Big hole on that right side of the infield. You can see why Sajaci was trying that cue shot to the right side. But waiting on a pitch is incredibly difficult at the big league level, especially when it moves the way Singers do. So we'll see if Sajaci can keep one fair. 2 outs, 2 strikes. The pitch is upstairs, 2-2. Sajaci already with a hit in the game. Chance to add to it. 2-2 pitch from Singer. Driven foul over to the Cardinal dugout. Still 2-2. He is trying to go to that right side of the infield, you can tell. See if he can straighten one out here. Another pitch to Sajaci. It is just outside, but he gets the call on an outside sinker. And that is strike 3. But the Cardinals do lead 1-0 after a sac fly from Nolan Gorman. And it is 1-0. So it'll be Gavin Lux due up first in the 4th inning. I'll be right back. Alrighty. So the Cardinals lead 1-0. Game still on a break here. See if we can get another word that I might actually want to use. I mean, probably not. Oh yeah, I do want to get an update on Herrera. All right, the game is back. Pat Maroon, 3-time Stanley Cup winner, is in the audience for the Redbirds today. As the curveball is low, it's 1-0 on Lux. The 1-0 pitch is driven out to right field, gets past the infield there. Walker rushes in and holds him to a single. So one man on with nobody out in the fourth for Elly De La Cruz. Pallante at about 40 pitches now in the game, as he gets ready to pitch to Elly. First pitch. Right down the middle, fouled off his leg. It's 0-1. I guess that last play was an error, so it must have hit off the glove of Gorman. Or I guess that might have been Donovan. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Pallante. Missed just upstairs with the fastball, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch from Pallante. Got the call at the top of the zone, 1-2. De La Cruz is 0-1 with a ground out. The 1-2 pitch, ground ball. Donovan turns it to Wynn, who tries to get Elly, but just late. And there is one out in the fourth with De La Cruz on first. So De La Cruz, a threat to steal on first base with one out. We'll have to watch out for that as Tyler Stevenson steps up to the plate, as the Cardinals try to protect a 1-0 lead in this fourth inning. All right, here is the first pitch to Stevenson. Instead, Pallante checks on De La Cruz. First pitch to Stevenson. He is up and away. Pajes sees Ellie stay at first. 1-0. Cardinals often will kind of do a half pitch out like that against fast runners. Sometimes it costs them. Here's the 1-0 to Stevenson. Swing and a miss on a slider above the zone. I think Stevenson thought that might be a curveball, but couldn't catch up with it as it was the slider. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch now to Tyler Stevenson. Up and away. Pajes back pick. They get Ellie De La Cruz. He came too far off the bag on that up and out fastball, and he gets back picked by Pedro Pajes. Great throw. That is what you love to see in this city. We'll take a look at the replay here. They did get him. There's no question about it. So 2 outs. And nobody on with a 2-1 count on Stevenson. Great play from Pajes. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Ground ball, foul, 2-2. Those are the types of plays that Yadier Molina brought to this city for over a decade. You have the mental capacity to call the right pitch, notice the trend, time everything up correctly, and the arm to get it done. As the 2-2 misses just low with the sinker, 3-2. Pajes filling a need that the Cardinals had since Molina left. Although he is not nearly as good as Molina at that role, he's still doing so well in it. And the Cardinals with a defensive catcher just feels a lot more characteristic. So it is still 3-2. Cardinals playing Stevenson to pull with 2 outs in the 4th. Here we go. The 3-2 pitch from Pallante. 50th pitch of the game. Ground ball. Arenado. Sorry, that's Gorman. Either way, he makes the play. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It's 1-0 St. Louis. At least it was a Nolan over there at third. Let's see. It'll be Nootbaar, Walker, Pajes. All right, I will be right back. Alrighty. Game about to return. Here we go. See if I can get a random word that might be somewhat relevant. Outside again, huh? It's not a good word because it's something you just already say in baseball, but here we go. Nootbaar steps up. First pitch is a sweeper outside. It's 1-0. There's me using that word. Nootbaar does have a strikeout today, so we're hoping he avoids another one. Singer has 4 strikeouts so far in the game. The 1-1. He is low and away with the sweeper, 2-1. 4 strikeouts in 3 innings is a really nice, impressive number, but the 1 run allowed is not. The 1-1 pitch, driven, high in the air, deep right field. And off the top of the wall, Nootbaar sailing into second base with a double, and he leads off the 4th with another base runner. That was just a fastball right down the middle. Worst placement you can have against Nootbaar, and he smokes this one off of that 66 sign in right field and flaps his wings with the double. So with Nootbaar on second, that's going to bring up Jordan Walker with nobody out in the 4th. We'll see if he can put this ball in play. First pitch is low and away with the slider, 1-0. Cardinals look to add to their 1-0 lead here in the 4th. The 1-0 pitch from Singer. Slider low and away, popped up foul, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch from Singer to Walker. Low and away with the slider, 2-1. Walker with a pretty good eye so far today. Had a ground out his last time up. Another one of those wouldn't be a bad thing. The 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on a cutter outside. It's 2-2. That was a good pitch from Singer. Draws the swing on the outside part of the plate. Walker calls time right before that 2-2 pitch. All right, Walker is ready. So is Singer. The 2-2 popped up right side of the infield. That's going to keep Nootbaar at second for out number 1. So the Cardinals are going to need a hit in order to score this run. And it'll be up to Pedro Pajes and Victor Scott to do it. So here is Pedro Pajes. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout so far in this one. Looking to drive in Nootbaar from second. The first pitch of his at-bat. Popped up. That one looks playable in right field. We'll see if Nootbaar can get to third or even try it. He is going to try it. The throw comes in, and it's cut off by De La Cruz. And Nootbaar is on third with 2 outs. If Nootbaar had stayed standing there, the ball did get away from De La Cruz a little bit. He might have been able to come in to score on that play. Would have been a close one. I think De La Cruz probably would have had him, so smart move to keep him at third. And with 2 outs and Nootbaar on third, Victor Scott will step up to the plate. He was hit by a pitch his last time up. Still 1 for 2 career against Singer. Base hit would score a run for the Redbirds here. Singer trying to strand Nootbaar after a leadoff double to start the 4th. First pitch to Victor Scott. Fouled back on a fastball outside. It's 0-1. Scott does have a stolen base in the game as well. Has 24 RBIs on the year. Big hole on the left side of the infield. The 0-1 pitch is up and away, 1-1. This could be one of those spots where you sneak a bunt over to that left side of the infield, but Scott hasn't been doing well with the bunts, so hopefully he just drives one. Here's the 1-1. Up and in, perfectly placed sinker, 1-2. It's a really tough pitch for Scott to hit. He stands a little bit close to the plate. So you go up and in with the sinker. It's moving from way inside to in on the hands. The 1-2 pitch to Scott. He squares around, bunts it foul. He is out, and that is the end of the inning. Stuck out the bat trying to bunt on a 2-strike count. He should have tried it earlier. We go to the 5th. It's 1-0 St. Louis. Well, that was unfortunate. But not really, it was just a bad decision. So, Steer, Benson, and Trevino, let's see. Anything specific about Steer? Not great. Doesn't chase too much, but doesn't do very much super well. Pretty good launch angle as well. Doesn't hit the ball super hard, so 6 home runs. Really only going to be decent in Cincinnati. He's lucky he's there. So let's get ready. The game is back. Here we go. First pitch is in there for a strike with the fastball inside. It's 0-1. Pallante now up above 50 pitches. Nothing allowed so far in 5 innings. The second pitch, ground ball. Gorman is there at third and makes the play. 1 out in the 5th. That'll bring up Will Benson. Benson is 0 for 1 today. Does have a 751 OPS. That's better than Steer so far this year. Also above league average, although might be below average in OPS plus due to playing in Cincinnati. Here is the pitch to Benson. Swing and a miss on a curveball at the bottom of the zone. It's 0-1. The 0-1 from Pallante. Gets the call on a fastball inside. It's 0-2. Here is the 0-2 pitch from Pallante. Missed downstairs with the slider. It is 1-2. And here's another pitch. The 1-2 pitch to Benson. Missed outside with the curveball. 2-2. Pajas sets up inside. The 2-2 pitch is low and in with the fastball, but just got a piece of it, did Benson. Keeping the count at 2-2. 2-2 pitch again. That one chopped foul once again. So a long at-bat by Will Benson. Good at-bat by him. With Jose Trevino on deck. It's really interesting that the Cardinals did decide to go with Sajacy finally, as I guess he's just the best hitter available from the minor leagues, and they don't want to play him in the field. The 2-2 is outside, 3-2. Because Herrera is the DH on a daily basis, so you bring up Sajacy to be able to DH with him, while Herrera is out. The 3-2 from Pallante. Fouled away. Still 3-2. A great at-bat from Benson. Pallante started this at-bat with about 53 pitches. He's about to throw his 61st. The 3-2 once again to Benson. Swing and a miss on a fastball below the zone. Down goes Benson. And with 2 outs, that'll bring up Jose Trevino. The pitch to Trevino is in there for a strike, 0-1. Pallante is at 2 strikeouts on the day. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Trevino. Low and away with the slider, 1-1. So the strikeout rate is not improving for Pallante, but the numbers are. About to try to finish his 5th scoreless inning in this game. Just 1 hit allowed. That came from McLean. Here's the 1-1 to Trevino. Perfectly placed slider up and away. It's 1-2. Looks like Pallante might be able to go 7 innings at this pace. The 1-2 pitch from Pallante. Low and away with the curveball, 2-2. A lot of nice sun hats around the ballpark, some cowboy hats, all types of hats to protect from the sun. The 2-2. Fouled back off of Pajes, still 2-2. Trevino's having a great year as the catcher of the Reds. 301 batting average with an 840 OPS and 4 homers. Big advantage to playing in Cincinnati. Getting those extra homers. The 2-2 pitch now from Pallante. He delivers. And it's outside with the fastball, 3-2. The 3-2 pitch with 2 outs and nobody on in the 5th. Up and in, popped up. And fouled out of play. Another 3-2 pitch to Jose Trevino. Outside ball 4. So Pallante misses. That's the first walk of the game for Pallante. And we'll see if he can get the 3rd out against Jake Fraley and not have to face McLean with a runner in scoring position. Trevino on first, 2 outs in the 5th. The Cardinals lead this one 1-0. This is a grueling inning from Pallante as he's had to throw a lot of pitches in this one. This will be his 20th pitch of the inning. Ground ball. Burleson flips it to Pallante for out number 3. Great play by Burleson. Had to toss it in the air like a basketball player. And it'll be the top of the Cardinals order with Donovan, Wynn, and Burleson in the bottom half. All right, I'll be right back. All right, here we go. Sure, Donovan's at bat has already begun. Not quite. That's good. Donovan is 0 for 2 so far today. Singer facing him to start off the bottom of the 5th. Here is the pitch. It is outside with the slider, 1-0. Donovan did come around to score after the hit by pitch from Scott, the 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike with the slider, 1-1. The 1-1. Ground ball. Nice play at second base by McLean to get Donovan. So, second time today, Donovan grounds out to McLean. And he is 0 for 3. So, it's going to bring up Mason Wynn with 1 out and nobody on in the bottom of the 5th. Cardinals lead this one 1-0. Singer is at 73 pitches. So, he'll probably be able to work through this inning and maybe the next, unless the Cardinals can get something going. The pitch to Wynn. Right down the middle with the slider, it's 0-1. Wynn is 1 for 2 so far in this one. Had a double back in the 3rd inning. Here's the 0-1. Another sweeper at the bottom of the zone for a strike, it's 0-2. Wynn's double was able to produce the sac fly by Burleson, which drove in Donovan. The 1-2 pitch now to Wynn. He's fouled away, still 1-2. So pretty good at bat from Wynn. Trying to make Singer work a little bit. The 1-2 pitch to Wynn is outside with the slider, 2-2. Two-two pitch, up and in, fouled away, still 2-2. Wynn does have 6 home runs on the year, .254 average. 2-2 pitch is low and away with the sinker. 3-2 now on Win. So great at bat to work the count full. With Alec Burleson waiting on deck. He's done well today. The 3-2. Fastball at the top of the zone. Popped into center field. Easy play for Friedel. And the catch is made. So 2 outs, nobody on. And that will bring up Alec Burleson. Burleson is 1 for 1 today. Had a double back in the first. Also had a sac fly. First pitch. Fouled back off the glove of Trevino. 0-1. So we'll see if Burleson can try to spark something with 2 outs here in the 5th. Or just drive a ball. The 0-1 pitch is up and away. Gets the strike call. That one was a little bit out of the zone. It's 0-2. So Burleson takes his time out, trying to regroup. Cardinals lead this 1-0. The 0-2 is up and away, 1-2. The 1-2 pitch to Burleson is a ground ball foul. Still 1-2. Singer working really quickly after he gets the ball. Up at 85 pitches now. Here is pitch number 86. Fouled back. Still 1-2. So Burleson on a real hot streak. OPS over 1,000 since May 10th. The 1-2 pitch is outside, 2-2. Burleson with 2 strikes this year is hitting .212 with 3 home runs. Just a 33.3% strikeout rate in these 2 strike counts. 2-2 pitch from Singer. Popped up into center field. Friedel on the run will make the grab and will go to the 6th. The Cardinals still lead 1-0. So McLean will finally get his second opportunity. He already has a hit. The only one for the Reds. All right, let's go back to the randomizer. Tough to come up with stuff. Land. Central. Maybe we could talk about the division. Yeah, that'd be fun. I might go back to doing some quizzes between innings, but there's usually not enough time to do that. All right, game is back on. So let's make sure we're live. Here we go. McLean has stepped in the box. Pallante is ready. Here is the pitch. First pitch right down the middle with the sinker. It's 0-1. McLean is 1 for 1 with a single. He has the only hit of the game for the Reds. The 0-1 pitch. Low and away with the curveball, 1-1. NL Central has been really competitive this year. Cardinals and the Reds in the thick of it right now. The 1-1 pitch from Pallante. Low and away, popped foul, 1-2. Brewers are in the mix as well. They have the same record as the Cardinals. And the Reds are just a game back of those two in the second, third, and fourth slots. And here's the 1-2 from McLean. To McLean. Pulls that foul. Still 1-2. The Cubs obviously have earned that first spot by about 5 games now. And the Pirates are way below the 3 teams in the middle. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fouled back, still 1-2. The Pirates struggle to win games even with Paul Skeens on the mound, so they have a long way to go. We'll see where Skeens ends up. Obviously, they would love to keep him, but eventually he will probably be a threat to leave in free agency. The 1-2 pitch now from Pallante to McLean. Swing and a miss on a slider low and away. Down goes McLean. And there's one out in the 6th. That's going to bring up TJ Friedel. First pitch to Friedel. He is pulled down the first base line. Foul, 0-1. This is the 3rd time through the order for Pallante. It looks like he might be able to go down the order once again. He's done well so far. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Friedel. Missed down and away with the curveball, 1-1. Arenado on a very elite list. About 7 players now who have hit 350 or more career homers and have 10 or more gold gloves. So that would be one of the best defensive teams of all time if you took that group of players. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Pallante to Friedel. Ground ball, playable at second. Donovan is there. He makes the play. There's 2 outs in the 6th as Pallante reaches 80 pitches. So he might be able to go one more inning if he can get this out in just a couple of pitches. And that out will be Gavin Lux. Lux has been one of the better hitters against Pallante in his career, but it hasn't shown up today. He's 0 for 2, also has a strikeout. First pitch to Lux. He's downstairs with the curveball, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch now from Pallante to Gavin Lux. He's downstairs with the fastball, 2-0. I'd love to see the Cardinals catch the Cubs this year, try to win that division, but if not, you're going to be battling with all of these teams in the middle of the pack. The 2-0 to Lux. In there for a strike, outside, 2-1. You also have to deal with the NL West and NL East teams, although the East will probably just produce the Mets and the Phillies this year. Here is the 2-1 pitch to Lux. Caught the outside corner for a strike, 2-2. Then out west, you have the Padres, the Giants, and the Dodgers all playing really, really well. Diamondbacks still maybe in the picture. Here is the 2-2 pitch now from Pallante to Lux, with 2 outs in the 6th. Swing and a miss on a curveball below the zone. Down goes Lux. And we go to the bottom half. It is 1-0 St. Louis. Gorman, Sajasi, Nootbaar. Gorman's walk rate, wow. Really, really nice walk rate so far. Trying to get that barrel rate back up to where it was in 2023, but doing better than last year for sure. All right, it's going to be Sonny Gray tomorrow against to be determined, and then it'll be Miles Michaelis against Andrew Abbott in the closer of this 3-game set. See if Singer has anything good for Gorman as he misses with the first pitch. It's 1-0. And the second pitch is swung on and missed by Gorman. 1-1. Singer at 90 pitches. So this will be his last inning of work. The 1-1 is not going to get the call at the top of the zone. 2-1. Trevino framed that one up just a little too much. Gorman trying to help the Cardinals extend the lead. The 2-1 pitch pulled foul. 2-2. It is 1-0 St. Louis in this one. Two-two pitch is up and in, gets the call with the sinker. Great pitch by Singer. And down goes Gorman. It's another strikeout for Singer. He is at 6. So that will bring up Thomas Sajasi, who is 1 for 2 so far today. Sajasi does have a strikeout, but he also has a single off of Singer. First pitch. Smoked. High in the air to left field, but foul. 0-1. A Little League team ended up with that ball, and they're hopping around with it. Absolutely hyped. That is hilarious. Big smiles. The 0-1 pitch. This one driven in the air to left field, but playable. Benson calls for it and makes the grab for out number 2. So that's going to bring up Nootbaar with nobody on and 2 outs in the 6th. Nootbaar had a double his last time up, but was left stranded at second base. It was just inches from being a home run. See if he can produce something this time. First pitch. Perfectly placed slider low and away. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch from Singer. Nootbaar squares around and pulls it back. 1-1. Looks like Phil Maton is getting ready in the Cardinal bullpen. Singer is ready. The 1-1. Ground ball off of Nootbaar's foot. That one's going to hurt again. It's 1-2. Next pitch from Singer to Nootbaar. The 1-2 pitch. Popped up. Behind the plate and into the crowd. Knocks over a drink. But the souvenir's worth the drink, I would say. You get the baseball. The 1-2 pitch to Nootbaar is in the dirt, 2-2. Nice happy crowd after that foul ball. It's cool seeing a baseball just go right behind the plate like that. 2 outs. The 2-2 pitch to Nootbaar. Pulled foul, still 2-2. Nootbaar does have a strikeout in the game, but also is able to crush one off that Auto 66 sign in right center. Just missed a home run. The 2-2 pitch from Singer. Right down the middle for strike 3. Nootbaar took it. Thought the sinker was going to be further in. And down he goes. So we go to the 7th. It is 1-0 St. Louis. So that is going to do it for Singer. So we'll be able to check on their bullpen for the rest of the game. Pallante is at much fewer pitches, just 85, so he'll be able to finish the 7th as well. So he's going to be able to get more out of his arm than Singer. Assuming they leave him in, it's going to be De La Cruz, Stevenson, and Steer. So we'll look at this page here. Pretty fast for De La Cruz, 28.9 sprint speed in feet per second. Does have 21 stolen bases already. He's barreling the ball up amongst the best in baseball. Not always a great launch angle, but walks a lot and hits the ball hard. Really nice hitter at 823 OPS. Just strikes out a good amount as well. So hopefully the Cardinals can take advantage of that. All right, Pallante starts De La Cruz off with a strike. It's 0-1 in the 7th inning. Pallante had 86 pitches. De La Cruz is 0 for 2, the 0-1 pitch. Right down the middle, grounded up the middle, right past Donovan for a base hit. Walker comes running in to make sure he stays at first. And De La Cruz, as a leadoff hitter, is on in the 7th. So the Cardinals are still trying to protect a 1-0 lead. That'll get a lot harder with a fast runner on first and nobody out. This will bring up Tyler Stevenson. Pallante has been absolutely fantastic today, so it would be a shame if this one base runner ended up coming in, but Pallante's done, so I guess we didn't want him facing Stevenson again. So hopefully Maton can get a ground ball here. or at least keep De La Cruz at first base. So we'll check on Maton's numbers. I guess it's not worth trying to re-warm up Maton. You can just get him warmed up once and bring him in pretty early on. A nice safe move from Marmol. So it's going to be 6 innings pitched, either 0 or 1 earned run for Pallante. Whoops. So Stevenson, Steer, Benson is going to be the assignment for Maton. Hopefully it doesn't reach Trevino. The walk rate just a little bit high for Maton, but other than that, he's been absolutely fantastic. All of the contact has been soft and low average. Also in the ground a lot, which is nice. Exactly what you want out of a pitcher like Maton, coming out of the pen. Soft contact into the ground. All right, so Maton is on the mound now. Tyler Stevenson at the plate. Here we go. De La Cruz on first with nobody out. The first pitch for Maton in this one to Tyler Stevenson. Ground ball, third base. Gorman goes to second for 1. Donovan makes the turn, and it's a double play. 2 outs in the 7th. Maton with 1 pitch closes the book on Pallante's start. He goes 6 shutout innings for the Redbirds. And Maton is through 2/3 of an inning with just 1 pitch. So that is going to bring up Spencer Steer. With 2 outs and nobody on. Here's the pitch. Right down the middle for a strike with the cutter. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch now to Spencer Steer from Maton. He's outside with the curveball, 1-1. Maton has been incredible this year, super efficient. If the Cardinals were to sell, he would be worth a lot, but I would really hope that this team can contend and he gets to do this in contention. As the sweeper misses outside, 2-1. Spencer Steer with a 636 OPS this year. Has a line out and a ground out so far in this game. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss with the curveball, 2-2. Steer came out as a pretty promising prospect at one point, but it just doesn't seem to be developing to the degree that the Reds wanted. The 2-2. Fouled back, still 2-2. Will Benson is on deck, should Steer reach. Maton on his 7th pitch of the inning. The 2-2 pitch to Spencer Steer. Ground ball, foul. Still 2-2. A pretty good at-bat from Steer. Maton only threw 1 pitch to get the first 2 outs, so this next pitch will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Maton is ready to go. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on a cutter above the zone. Down goes Steer. And we go to the bottom of the 7th. It's still 1-0. Great outing by Pallante. Great inning from Maton. So Walker Scott Sorry, Walker, Pajes, Scott. So one thing that's changed a lot for Walker is his barrel rate and average exit velo are way up now after that bad speed. So if he can keep that walk rate up and strikeout rate down, which hasn't happened yet, but it could, he could definitely pull it back up to being an above average hitter. Just got to get a good launch angle. Try to drive the ball instead of hit it into the ground. That's one of the key things that's hurting Walker right now. If you look at the launch angle, 28th percentile with 31.8% sweet spot, and all of that seemed to come in the same week. And that was the week he got injured, so hopefully he can get it going again. So with Singer done, it's going to be with Walker, Pajes, and Scott. That's 2 righties and a lefty. So you can really go to anyone you want. As far as pitchers go, I will take a look at the bullpen, see if I agree with it. Let's see, recent pitching. A lot of guys pitched yesterday for the Reds. Their best guys did not. It's a very close game, so they could either go to Connor Phillips or they could go to Barlow here, I believe. I think Barlow makes a lot of sense. So let's see if that's what they do. The game is back. It is Scott Barlow, so here we go. Barlow with a 3.73 ERA, 1.18 whip. He's been good this year. First pitch right down the middle with the slider. It's 0-1 on Jordan Walker. Let's see if I can pull Barlow's Savant as we go here. We'll go back. All right. Walker waiting. Here is the 0-1 pitch. Low and away with the sweeper, 1-1. Cardinals looking to get some insurance runs here in the Honda home run inning. Barlow's been good this season. Very low barrel rate against, high ground ball rate, but he does have a high walk rate as well. So Cardinals need to keep that in mind. If he misses, you got to keep working the at-bat. That's the main thing that he's struggled with so far this year, is the walk. So Walker is ready, the 1-1 pitch. Right down the middle, popped up, and out of play, 1-2. Can't blame Walker for that swing. It was a great decision. It was a fastball right down the middle, just didn't quite connect. Walker's going to call time, as he usually does with 2 strikes, just to give himself a breath, make the pitcher rethink that 2-strike pitch. The 1-2 pitch from Barlow. Goes low and away with the sweeper, 2-2. Walker is 0 for 2 today, yet to strike out in the game. So hopefully he can go ahead and barrel one up here. Here's the 2-2 from Barlow. Reaches out and pokes this one into the air. Not a good swing. Easy play at first for Steer. He'll make the grab for out number 1. So that's going to bring up Pedro Pajes, who's also 0 for 2. Pajes has struck out in this game. We'll see if he can reach for the first time today. Great job by the Reds picking Barlow here. I think it's the right guy to go with. And then if you don't come back in the game, you could always go to one of those AAA guys later on. The pitch to Pajes is upstairs with the curveball, 1-0. But in a 1-run game, you could probably go to all your best pitchers. Keep giving yourself a chance. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Pajes. In there for a strike with the slider, 1-1. Obviously, you only have one more inning after this one. So the AAA guy just trying to get through the 8th if it's still 1-0 Cardinals. Wouldn't be a terrible move either. The 1-1 pitch now to Pages. Is going to catch the upper outside corner but not get the call. It's 2-1. So favorable call for Pages. Let's see if he can take advantage. 2-1 count with 1 out and nobody on in the 7th. Here's the 2-1 from Barlow. Swing and a miss on a sweeper low and away. It's 2-2. So Pages chased that one. Barlow grabs the rosin bag. Trying to get a grip. As Pages calls timeout. Digs back in now. 2-2 pitch from Scott Barlow to Pedro Pages. Low and away with the curveball. It's 3-2. So great job by Pages. Seeing pitches here. Barlow with a high walk rate. Means that Pages can continue to foul off pitches. Try to work a walk. The 3-2. Low and away. That's ball 4. So a great approach from Pages will pay off. He reaches in the bottom of the 7th with 1 out, and that'll bring up Victor Scott II. First pitch to Victor Scott is right down the middle with the curveball, 0-1. Scott probably wasn't looking for a curveball there. Pedro Pages on first with 1 out. The Cardinals have a 1-0 lead, looking to extend it, but Barlow throws a lot of tough pitches. Swing and a miss again with the slider low and in. Victor Scott is down in the count, 0-2. The best strategy against Barlow is usually to work deep into a count, but it's going to be tough now. The 0-2 pitch to Victor Scott. Low and in, it's actually going to hit him. Slider comes low and in, and a hit by pitch for Victor Scott. It hit him in the knee, and he is struggling to stand up, so maybe he'll be out of the game. Let's see where it hit him. Yeah, right square in the knee. Really didn't like that. Ended up falling to the ground. Didn't seem like it did any damage from that angle, but with the knee, you never know. Might have just hurt. Might have caused some damage. We'll see if he wants to stay in. Barlow is done. So it'll be Brendan Donovan coming in the game. And they're going to bring in a lefty. I think this is a guy I've seen, but I'll have to check the picture. So Taylor Rogers or Brent Suter. It's one of those two. I mean, I guess it's only 2 on their whole team. So if we look, that looks like the guy, Taylor Rogers. .33 whip, 3.47 ERA. Just to make sure, I'm going to pull up Suter. Yeah, that's not the guy. So Taylor Rogers, 1.33 whip. If we look at what he struggled with, he's given up a lot of barrels this year. And given up a lot of hard hit balls. Does get a few strikeouts. The walk rate isn't great. It's a lot of just average stats, but the main problem for him has definitely been the barrels and not getting chased with his pitches. So that's good news for the Cardinals. This is a guy you can probably see the break on the breaking balls, which makes your approach a lot simpler. So he is in the game. Taylor Rogers. up against Brendan Donovan. Donovan is 0 for 3 in the game today. Has scored the only run for the Cardinals, with Scott on first and Pajes on second. The first pitch is in there for a strike, but doesn't get the call. That was a sweeper on the inside part of the plate. Donovan's been much better against right-handed pitching this year. Just a .699 OPS against lefties. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Rogers. Low and in, smoked, but foul, 1-1. So Rogers has some clear break on his pitches. You just got to read that movement. The 1-1 is a sinker outside 2-1. So it's not a lot of guesswork against Rogers. It's a lot more of being able to react in time. The 2-1 pitch. He is a nice sinker low and away, but he missed. It's 3-1. So Donovan way ahead in the count now. Still got to look for something to hit here. 1 out, 2 men on in the 7th. Cardinals lead 1-0. The 3-1 pitch from Rogers. Outside ball 4. That's a sinker that missed. And it's a walk to Brendan Donovan. So that will load the bases with 1 out for Mason Wynn. Big opportunity to blow this game open and extend the lead as the Cardinals lead just 1-0 in the 7th. Mason Wynn does have a hit in the game today. It was a double down the left field line. He is 1 for 3. Hitting a career .304 with the bases loaded, and the infield is coming in. Here is the pitch. Inside with the sinker, 1-0. Against Rogers, you can kind of read the movement of the pitch out of the hand and react, which is a lot better than having to guess with pitches that are tunneled. So it's one of those big problems for Rogers. That's why he doesn't get swing and miss. And why he's given up so many barrels this year. So Wynn is ready to go. The 1-1 pitch from Rogers to Wynn. Inside 2-1. 2 more balls would walk in a run here. But Wynn's got to be looking to swing the bat. Big opportunity to drive in multiple runs here in the 7th. Especially with Victor Scott standing on second base and Pajes on third. The 2-1. Swing and a miss on a sweeper inside. It's 2-2. Rogers is ready. The 2-2 pitch to Wynn. Pulled foul down the third base line. So it's still 2-2 on Mason Wynn. Wynn has yet to hit a home run with runners in scoring position yet. On the year, he's hitting .259 in these spots. Does have 16 runs batted in on 54 at-bats. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Inside, cued out to center field for a base hit. 1 run comes in to score. Scott got a bad read on it, so it's going to be the bases loaded with 1 out, but the Cardinals now lead 2-0 after an RBI single from Wynn. Was a fastball inside. He went inside out. Put some backspin on that one. Made sure to loft it over the head of De La Cruz out to center field for a base hit. Tough read by Victor Scott, but still a nice opportunity here for Burleson to drive him in with the bases loaded and 1 out. Here is the pitch from Rogers to Burleson. Puts the sweeper at the top of the zone, 0-1. So a 2-0 lead. Big hole on the left side of the infield with 1 out in the 7th. Bases loaded. The 0-1 pitch to Burleson. Waves and misses at a sweeper low and away. It's 0-2. So Burleson was fooled that time. And now Rogers is ready. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Alec Burleson. Waves and misses again. It was a sweeper at the bottom of the zone. Down goes Burleson. That is his first strikeout of the game, as well as Rogers' first strikeout of the game. It's going to bring up Nolan Gorman. Gorman is 0 for 2 today. First pitch missed outside, but got the call with the sweeper. It's 0-1. Gorman does have a walk in the game today. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Rogers. Way low and away with the sweeper, 1-1. Marmol not happy with that strike call, but it is what it is. A lot of questionable strikes over the course of the game today. Still a big hole on that left side. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Rogers to Gorman. No, he did not. 2-1. So 2 outs with the bases loaded here in the 7th. The Cardinals lead 2-0. Huge opportunity for Nolan Gorman here as the 4-hitter. The 2-1 pitch from Rogers. Right down the middle with the sinker, 2-2. So Gorman might be trying to work an at-bat here, but Rogers able to sneak the sinker right down the middle. We'll see if Gorman can pick it up here. The 2-2 pitch. Outside, 3-2. On deck is Thomas Saggese, but the bases are loaded with 2 outs. All of the runners are going to be getting a head start. The 3-2 pitch. Low and away for ball 4. Nolan Gorman draws a walk, drives in Victor Scott, and it's 3-0 Cardinals in the 7th. Very close pitch, but definitely outside. Great read, great eye by Gorman. And that works just as well as a sac fly would have with 1 out. It is 3-0, and Francona is going to go back to the bullpen to face Thomas Saggese. Either Phillips or Santillan is coming in the game. Looks like it'll be Santillan, so let's go ahead and pull up his numbers, and I will be right back. Righty. Santillan, if we look at his numbers, he doesn't get a lot of chase, gives up pretty hard hit baseballs, also doesn't get a lot of ground balls, so you're going to want to look to barrel him up. He doesn't walk a lot of hitters, so just swing hard, look for a pitch in the zone. So he's all warmed up. A 0.94 whip, throws a lot of strikes, but does get hit really hard when you make contact. So we'll see if Saggese can do that here. Bases loaded, 2 outs. The Cardinals lead 3-0. Chance to extend this lead. A little bit of a hole up the middle in case JC can smack one right back. Here's the first pitch from Santillan. Just up and away. No call there. It's 1-0. So JC does have a single back in the second inning. The 1-0 pitch from Santillan. Right down the middle, swing and a miss on a fastball, 1-1. So JC was a little late on that one. So JC does have a strikeout in the game as well. Hopefully he can avoid a second one. Big chance to drive in a couple more runs. 3-0 Cardinals in the 7th. The 1-1 pitch to JC. Fouled off the end of the bat at 96. It's 1-2. So it's a 2-strike count. Reds infield a little bit spread out here. If you can go up the middle, you could get yourself a hit. The 1-2 pitch from Santillan. Chopper over to third. Running throw by Lux. It's unable to make the play. Steer is going to have to go get that one. 1 run comes in to score. It's 4-0 Cardinals in the 7th. Another run comes in to score after the ball skips away. 5-0. So both Wynn and Donovan come in to score. 5-0 Redbirds on an infield hit for JC. It might have been an error. Let's see how they score this one. It was a tough play. Yeah, that's going to be an error. It skipped out of the glove of Steer. The main problem on the play was Lux unable to get the ball out of his glove. It was stuck in there, and then he tried to make a rushed throw. And there was nothing Steer could do with that. Could not scoop it. 5-0 Cardinals. Here's the first pitch to Nootbaar. Up and away for a strike with the fastball. It's 0-1. So Nootbaar with a chance to do even further damage. He's 1 for 3 with a double. The 0-1 pitch from Santillan. Way up and away with the fastball, 1-1. So runners at the corners with 2 outs. A really nice inning for the Redbirds here, just passing the torch. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Nootbaar. Up and in, fouled back, 1-2. Good swing, was just below that one. Gorman standing on third base. So JC on first. 2 outs, 1-2 count in the 7th. The Cardinals now lead 5-0. The 1-2 pitch. Smoked up the middle for a base hit. Nootbaar drives in Gorman with a single. And it is 6-0 Cardinals in the 7th. A 5-run 7th for the Redbirds. And Jordan Walker gets a chance to extend it. This just a hanging curveball right down the middle. Nootbaar puts the barrel on it. Puts some top spin on it as well. Makes sure nobody can get to that one. Great job by Nootbaar getting back into the swing of things. He's 2 for 4. Here's the first pitch to Walker. Swing and a miss on a slider outside. It's 0-1. Walker is 0 for 3. One of just a couple guys on the Cardinals without a hit today. The only Cardinal who is yet to reach base. The 0-1 pitch to Walker. Low and away with the slider, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch now to Jordan Walker. Slider, did he go? Yes, he did. It's 1-2. So 2 outs. Nootbaar on first, so JC on second. Bottom of the 7th is 6-0 Cardinals. We'll see if Walker can lock back in here. Looking for his first hit of the game. Calls time. The 1-2 pitch to Walker from Santillan. Swing and a miss on a slider at the bottom of the zone. Down goes Walker. And we'll go to the 8th. It's 6-0 Redbirds after a massive 7th inning. So it's going to be John King with the big lead coming in the game here. We try to figure out why that is. Let's go ahead and see why. The recent pitching. Everybody pitched yesterday. John King just threw 15, and he is not a very high leverage guy, so it would make sense that you go to him here. Maton was able to come into the game earlier after throwing some pitches yesterday. We're just going with the guys who threw the least number of pitches outside of Helsley, obviously, which makes a lot of sense. So you can see King here. You're going to stay away from Romero and O'Brien unless you can maintain this 6-run lead. Maybe you might see one of those guys in the 9th. King, he's had a very low walk rate, low barrel rate, high ground ball rate. I mean, that's great. For the Cardinals, that's exactly what you need. But the strikeout rate is the lowest in baseball. And he doesn't throw the ball super hard and allows pretty high expected batting averages. Hard hit rate is kind of high, so it's not always good. So yeah, if he can put it in the zone the way he has been, but maybe get some softer contact or maybe get some swing and miss, that would do a lot for him. He has a 1.56 whip with a 4.56 ERA. And most of that is just coming from hard hit baseballs. So avoid allowing those exit velocities. And that would help out. Well, I don't know if it's exit velocity. What even is it? It's going to be launch angle, probably. Yeah, that's why this expected batting average is so bad. So he needs to stop allowing line drives, is the main problem. All right, it's 1-1 on Benson. John King in the game. Missed a couple pitches, my bad. The 1-1 pitch to Benson. Ground ball foul, 1-2. Benson hitting .225 on the year. He's a switch hitter. The 1-2 pitch. Driven in the air to center field. Victor Scott on the run. Unable to get to that one. It's a base hit for Benson. Oh, no wonder. No, he's not a switch hitter. It's a pinch hitter. That was Santiago Espinal with a base hit. And that'll bring up Jose Trevino with a man on and nobody out in the 8th. That's the thing about King, is he gives up those types of hits all the time. It's a launch angle problem. They're not super hard hit, but their line drives up the middle, and there's just no way to field that as a defense. Changeup missed outside there. It's 1-0. The 1-0 pitch now to Trevino is low and in. Gets the call with the sinker. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch now from King. Driven in the air to right field, but foul. I hope they didn't call that fair. Looks like they did. One run did come in to score. It was Santiago Espinal. I thought that was a foul ball, but I guess it was called fair. It's a double down the right field line for Jose Trevino. That's going to be a 6-1 ball game in favor of the Cardinals with nobody out. Was a fastball at the top of the zone. He waited on that, barreled it up down the right field line. And I guess it did hit off the chalk, so it was a fair ball. So a double for Trevino. Gets the Reds back in it. Here comes Jake Fraley. He is 0 for 2 so far in the game. And they're going to pinch hit for him. So instead of Fraley, it is the right-handed hitter who just took a ball outside. It's 1-0. Oh, it's Connor Joe, former Pirate. The 1-0 pitch has popped up. Donovan out there. Walker is going to make the call and run into Donovan. So 1 out with a man on second. Donovan is okay. So we're all right after that. They should have probably communicated better than that. Let's see what happened. Just a little bit of a collision. The midsection of Walker off of the midsection of Donovan. He's all right. Donovan had to give him a thumbs up during the play so he could throw the ball in. But the out was recorded. So it's 6-1 Cardinals, 1 out. Man on second for the Reds. Matt McLean at the plate. He is 1 for 2. Does have a single. The 0-1 pitch from King to McLean. Slider below the zone, 1-1. See if King can find the zone with this one. Throw a good pitch here, the 1-1. Outside sinker, great pitch from King. It's 1-2. McLean does have a strikeout today. So we'll see if King can line up his second one here. With Trevino on second. The 1-2 pitch from King. Missed downstairs with the slider, 2-2. King is ready to go. The 2-2 pitch to McLean. Missed upstairs with the fastball, 3-2. So McLean works a full count. King's going to have to give him something to hit here. 1 out. 3-2 count on McLean. The pitch. Reaches out and pops it foul. We'll do it again. On deck is TJ Friedel at the top of the Reds order. He's 0 for 3. Riley O'Brien and JoJo Romero getting ready for the Cardinals, so it truly is a usage-based day. The 3-2 is up and away for ball 4. So King not having a great outing so far. Should probably just go to the bullpen now as Friedel comes in. And they will. It's going to be Riley O'Brien coming in the game. Marmol is going to go get him. So King leaves a couple runners stranded, records an out. And we'll see Riley O'Brien coming in to face. Oh, that's actually going to be JoJo Romero. So that is Friedel a lefty? He must be a lefty. It's my bad. Okay, so let's check on Friedel. Make sure he's a lefty. So I remember that in the future. Yes, he is. Okay. He's been a really nice hitter this year. Wow. 826, 14 batting run value, very low strikeout rate, great walk rate. It's good to know. So JoJo Romero is going to go lefty-lefty against him. Romero's been just a little bit above average. 2.86 ERA is great, but the whip at 1.45 is way too high. Walk rate is way too high for Romero this year. But he gets a ton of ground balls, 55.4% grounders. And the exit velocities aren't too bad. But they are a little bit up there, which means double play balls are in the picture as well. Doesn't get a ton of strikeouts either, so it's really just getting ground balls here. So hopefully he can do that against Friedel in a huge spot in the game. All right, Romero is on. He misses upstairs with a sinker. It's 1-0 on Friedel. It's a lefty-lefty matchup with runners on first and second. The Cardinals lead 6-1 in the 8th with 1 out. Friedel is 0 for 3. Let's see if Romero can get him. The 1-0 pitch. He's downstairs with the slider, 2-0. Two-0 pitch from Romero is outside, but gets the call. It's 3-0. Sorry, 2-1 on Friedel. So Romero might have been helped out there. Maybe he can go ahead and go back in the zone now. The 2-1 pitch to Friedel. Swing and a miss on a slider low and in. It's 2-2. Friedel's been great in his last 28 games. He has 5 home runs, a .330 average, with a .957 OPS over that period. Two-two pitch now from Romero. Inside, pulled foul, still 2-2. Let's hope that Romero can cool off Friedel as Pallante was able to do early in this one. The 2-2 pitch to Friedel is just outside with the sinker, 3-2. So Romero didn't get helped out in the same spot that time. So the count is full on Friedel. Huge moment in this one. Runners at first and second with 1 out. Gavin Lux waiting on deck. Cardinals playing Friedel to pull. The 3-2 pitch from Romero. Ground ball up the middle. Flipped from Wynn to Donovan for out number 2. They can't make the turn as it was a slow roller. So 2 outs with runners at the corners, and that will bring up Gavin Lux. Another lefty-lefty matchup. Lux hasn't had a very good game. Participated in an error at third base, and also has 2 strikeouts. He's 0 for 3. So hopefully Romero can make some good pitches here and preserve the rest of the bullpen. First pitch to Lux. Right down the middle with the sinker. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch now to Gavin Lux. Outside, ground ball to short once again. Mason Wynn makes the play. Great stretch by Burleson. And we will go to the bottom of the 8th. It is 6-1 Cardinals. Great job by Romero and by Mason Wynn in the infield. So it's going to be Pedro Pajes. And we can expect that the closing pitcher for the Cardinals today is not going to be Helsley. It's probably going to be Riley O'Brien. Alrighty. Pallante was fantastic today. 6 innings, 0 earned runs, just 3 base runners allowed. Nootbaar and Wynn are both 2 for 4 with a double. Burleson is 1 for 3. Here's the first pitch to Pajes. Inside ground ball. And it's going to get through the third base and shortstop hole. Base hit for Pedro Pajes. 1 man on in the 8th. It is 6-1 Cardinals with nobody out. It's going to bring up Victor Scott II. So that's the first hit of the game for Pajes. Victor Scott is 0 for 1. He's been hit by a couple of pitches today. As Connor Phillips is on for the Reds. Makes sense. He's up from AAA. Here's the pitch. Up and away with the fastball. 1-0. This is the first inning of the year for Connor Phillips. The 1-0 pitch now to Scott. Up and away again, it's 2-0. Two-0 pitch now to Victor Scott with Pajes on first. Fouled back, 2-1. So the Cardinals looking to extend a 5-run lead here to 6-1 Redbirds in the bottom of the 8th. Helsley not likely to be used today. The 2-1. Right down the middle with the fastball, 2-2. Good pitch from Phillips there, but it seems like his release isn't too surprising, so the movement on the ball probably doesn't have as big of an effect on the hitter. The 2-2. Check swing, strike 3 on Victor Scott. A nice cutter at the bottom of the zone, taken by Victor Scott for out number 1. This is one of those pitchers that you would really like to see Nolan Gorman face. Burleson also would not struggle with this guy. I'm not too sure about Donovan. So we'll have to see right now. Here's the first pitch to Donovan. Low and in, perfect cutter. It is 0-1. The 0-1 pitch to Donovan. Fastball outside, perfectly placed. It's 0-2. So Phillips turned it on against Donovan. Donovan is 0 for 3, but he scored a couple of runs today. Does have a walk. The 0-2 pitch. Up and away with the fastball, 1-2. The Reds are playing Donovan to pull with a lot of room on that left side. The 1-2 pitch is outside, 2-2. Two-two pitch now to Donovan. Hold foul. Good at bat from Donovan to work this count back. Donovan and Burleson have had very similar years on the stat sheet. Burleson at 313 average, 815 OPS. Donovan at a 313 average, 818 OPS. Two-two pitch from Phillips to Donovan. Up and away, fouled back, still 2-2. That was 100 miles an hour from Phillips. He's probably getting some energy as a big league pitcher here. Big opportunity for him to stay at the big league level. Although pitchers expect to be sent back down no matter how well they play. The 2-2 pitch. Slider in the dirt, it's 3-2. Unless you're going to be a career bullpen guy, then maybe you can earn your spot at the big league level, but during the season, they usually just bring you up to get some innings. and then send you back down. The 3-2 to Brendan Donovan. Up and away, and that's ball 4. So Donovan with his second walk of the game. Continuing to produce for the Cardinals. 2 men on with 1 out, and that'll bring up Mason Wynn. Wynn has been pretty good today. He's 2 for 4 with a run scored and an RBI. First pitch to Mason Wynn. The cutter inside for a strike. It's 0-1. Pajes on second. Donovan on first. The 0-1 pitch from Phillips to Wynn. Fastball right down the middle. Fouled back into the glove of Trevino. 0-2. Mason Wynn has a single, a double, a run scored, and an RBI in the game today. The 0-2 pitch from Phillips to Wynn is in the dirt, 1-2. He has a cool cutter that almost acts like a slider. A lot of vertical drop on this pitch. The 1-2 pitch to Mason Wynn. Swing and a miss on a cutter at the top of the zone. That was a great pitch to Wynn. Almost behaved like a hanging slider, but it moved a little bit quicker, so it didn't drop out the way that a hanging slider would. It was like a backing up slider. Caught Wynn off guard for sure. Struck him out. It's not a pitch that'll work every time, but if you go up and in with that, I think it's a good pitch. So that'll bring up Alec Burleson, the guy I wanted to see face Phillips. The first pitch is fouled back, 0-1. Gorman is the guy I would most want to see Phillips, but Burleson is another guy who seems to match up well in my mind due to pitch shapes here. So hopefully Burleson proves me right here. 2 men on with 2 outs in the 8th. The 0-1 pitch to Burleson. Up and away with the fastball, 1-1. Burleson is ready. The 1-1 pitch from Phillips. Top of the zone, driven in the air to center field. But the catch is made by Friedel at the track. So Burleson just barely didn't get all of that one. If it was a day game or if we were playing in Cincinnati, that might have been a homer. Either way, we go to the 9th. It is 6-1 Cardinals. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pull up O'Brien. Have to assume he's coming in. So O'Brien's been pretty good this year. 1 pitching run value, 2.92 ERA in 12 1/3 innings. 7 strikeouts is not a lot, but he does just have a 1.05 whip. Low walk rate, low barrel rate, good ground ball rate. Just doesn't get a lot of whiff or strikeout, and that's okay. Just attack the zone, get the outs the way you can. We look at pitch counts. Everybody pitched yesterday in the bullpen. And O'Brien pitched the least. And he's also the guy that you'd most want to pitch in the first game of a series, especially with a big lead, because that saves Helsley, Leahy, Matz, Granillo for tomorrow's game. So that is fantastic. That's why I'm expecting him to be the one that the Cardinals go to here. See if we have an update on that. We don't. So I'll just have to... Well, actually, with Ellie De La Cruz in the game, it looks like they're going to stick with Jojo Romero, which makes sense. You got to go lefty-lefty first. Unless De La Cruz is a switch hitter, which I think he is. Hold on. I'm just going to check on this real fast. Let's see. I thought he was. Yeah, he is a switch hitter, so I don't really quite understand. I guess they like him better when he's on the right side. The Cardinals do, so sticking with Romero rather than O'Brien. And then you probably go to O'Brien against Stevenson and Steer. Romero gets the strike call with the sinker at the top of the zone. It's 0-1. De La Cruz did have a single in the 7th inning. He is 1 for 3. Here's the 0-1 pitch now from Jojo Romero. A nice slider low and away for a strike. It's 0-2. Romero's been pretty efficient so far. You might want to leave him in. He's going to go ahead and step off. The 0-2 pitch. In there for strike 3. De La Cruz gets called out on strikes for out number 1. So we're looking at a potential 2 innings from Romero. I guess potential inning and 2/3. But he's going to be trying to finish a 2nd inning here. No, he isn't. Okay, so that's what I thought. You go lefty-lefty, which I guess is just lefty switch hitter. And then you bring in the righty Riley O'Brien to face Stevenson and Steer. Okay. So that is what I initially expected, but it just was weird because of the switch hitter. Figured they would just go straight to O'Brien. That is what it is. So we'll go back to Riley O'Brien's stat line here. And he's looking to just get a 2-out close out of this one. It's not going to be a save, but just a hold at the end, which is good enough. See if O'Brien is in the game. He is. Here we go. O'Brien just trying to get 2 outs here to close it out. Has a 2.92 ERA so far this year. First pitch to Tyler Stevenson. In there, but doesn't get the call. It was low and away at 100 miles an hour, 1-0. Stevenson is 0 for 3 so far in the game. He'd ground into a double play earlier. The 1-0 pitch is outside 2-0. So we'll hope O'Brien can find the zone here. Might have to warm up an emergency reliever if he starts to struggle. The 2-0 pitch now to Stevenson. Outside 3-0. Pajes wanted that one but didn't get it. So it's 3-0 on Stevenson. Spencer Steer is waiting on deck. See if O'Brien can put it right back in the zone here. The 3-0 pitch. Oh my goodness, a balk. What just happened? So O'Brien just didn't throw the pitch, took a pitch clock violation, and that is ball 4. So that was weird. Hopefully he settles down now. 1 man on with 1 out. And that's going to bring up Spencer Steer. Steer is 0 for 3 today, does have a strikeout. It's the rare walk from O'Brien on just 3 pitches. Hopefully he can get settled in. The pitch to Steer. Right down the middle for a strike. 0-1. The 0-1 pitch now to Steer. Up and in, check swing. Yes, he did. So Steer went around. It's 0-2. Helping out O'Brien. He's now way ahead in the count. Stevenson on first. A ground ball could end it. We are in the 9th. The Cardinals lead by 5. O'Brien trying to protect a 6-1 Cardinal advantage. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Spencer Steer. Way outside with the curveball, 1-2. Cardinals are playing Steer to pull a little bit here, but still trying to get that double play. 1-2 pitch. Got him with the sinker on the outside corner. Down goes Steer. He didn't like it, but it was a strike. 2 outs with 1 man on, and the crowd is on their feet. Santiago Espinal is the scheduled hitter with the game on the line. And he does dig in. Here we go. O'Brien versus Espinal. The first pitch. Right down the middle, fouled off. 0-1. Espinal did have a single his last time up. Came around to score the only Reds run of the game so far. Crowd on their feet around the stadium making some noise. The 0-1 pitch to Espinal. In there with the sinker. It's 0-2. Even more noise. More of the crowd standing up now. They know that the game is on the line. 1 more pitch here from O'Brien. The 0-2 is low and away, 1-2. So 2 outs, man on first. O'Brien's thrown 10 pitches. Let's see if he can close it out with his 11th. The 1-2 pitch to Santiago Espinal. Low and away with the curveball again. It's 2-2. Cardinals looking for a big win in the division here. The 2-2 pitch now to Espinal. Fouled off. Still 2-2. See if O'Brien has a lucky number 13 here on this next pitch. 2 outs with a man on first. The Cardinals lead 6-1. Here's the 2-2 to Santiago Espinal. Swing and a miss on a slider at the top of the zone. Down goes Espinal and the Cardinals win. A 6-1 victory in St. Louis wearing the City Connect uniforms. Great game across the board. Pallante was great through 6. The Cardinals finally exploded in the 7th to extend their lead to a 6-0 lead, and were able to protect it and close it out at 6-1. Great game all around. Great inning in the 7th, and we will see you guys tomorrow for another game of Cardinals baseball. Thanks for listening.